Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye has friends. No, really, Jeff has friends. Jeff's friends are on this podcast. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship.
Friendship.
And welcome back to Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast, episode 44. 44 weeks of pure fun, giving you guys a podcast about love, friendship, and connectivity, which I believe is a real word. Episode 44, big shout out to number 44 for the Seattle Mariners and the Chicago White Sox, two teams I grew up adoring. Mike Cameron, we love you, dog. We'd love to have you on the podcast. Yeah, reply to your emails, dude. We've been trying to get at you to have you on this podcast. We love you, Mike Cameron. I remember the day that you hit 4 home runs in a single game. It was a big deal to us. I think only 30-something players have ever done that? No? Less? Less players. My producer says that less players have done that. But you and hard-hitting Mark Whitten were the most memorable to me. So that's why we want you on the podcast. Yo, Dave Valley, set that up, man. You must know Mike Cameron. Anyways, it's a fun podcast. This week, we have the beautiful, the talented, the very sweet, and you'll find out very deep and astrological KRISTEN Doute from Vanderpump Rules. If you haven't seen the show, you're going to love this episode anyways. But if you have seen the show, you're going to like it even more because she explains the ins and the outs and all the little secret things about Vanderpump Rules. I don't know if they're really secret, but you'll find out about... what's the queen bee? I don't know her name. Vanderpump lady. She's, she'll talk about her. You're going to love it. This episode is a delight, and you get to know KRISTEN a lot better. We were happy to have her. With all that being said, if you'd like to watch the episode, go to patreon.com/Jeff Dye, and you can watch the episode. For $10 a month, you get free comedy club tickets to anytime you're in the same city as me. You can come to the comedy shows for free. You get 2 tickets and a meet and greet, live streams, gifts, exclusive content on the Patreon, and you get to watch this podcast each week instead of just having to listen to it. But if you'd like to just listen to it for free, go on over to iTunes, search Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast. That's all right there. That being said, we love you guys. I'm an Aquarius, a human boy. Enjoy.
I'm excited because it's beautiful out, and I was going to get my car washed today, and then someone told me that it's going to rain all week.
It's supposed to rain, yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Gosh, damn it.
I'm really over my car.
I just got my Jeep detailed. It's at the detail right now. And I just got the Tesla washed yesterday, just a quick wash.
Yeah, but we're going to be out of town, so it's fine.
Oh, that's right. The Tesla will be with us out of town.
Yeah.
And the Jeep will be in. Oh, man. What? This is the kind of
Still
things,
a good day.
little
Still a good
things
day.
you got to just get excited about.
Give me a clap, Jeff.
Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast. 1, 2.
And camera 2, 1, 2.
Just hurt my own ears.
Can I just clap because I want
Do
to?
it.
Yeah.
Please do. We made a joke last week. They were like,
Don't leave
he was
me
like,
out.
should I
It's
clap? And then we were like, we should just start when we do our claps.
We're doing it right now. You're going to use this take of her doing that.
Yeah.
And we'll make a little compilation of
Yeah.
everybody
It's like
who's
when people
asked
give
about
each
the
other a
clap.
high five and then you're just standing there.
Yeah.
And you're like, what about
Because we want to do a bit where it's like we do our claps and then we just turn and look and don't even say anything and see if the person's like,
Well, in
am I
that
supposed
highlight
to?
reel that you make, you got to use Aaron doing ooh, and him screwing it up, the whole thing. Because so many people have wanted to be part of the clap.
Yeah,
Some people don't, and that says a lot about the type of people we have on here.
Yeah, and it's been
There's
such
2
a,
camps.
It's been
Can I clap too? And then they're like,
and it's been an important part of the podcast where it's supposed to be before action, and it's been in the episode numerous times because it's eventful.
Yeah.
It's
So
very
you're going to know
eventful.
who's on
That
your
shows-
A team and your B team.
That's right.
and that shows who's a go-getter.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a go-getter. You're like, listen, I'm not going to stand around where everyone's clapping. I also want the clap.
I
That's
do.
what Kristen said.
Don't leave me
Kristen
out.
Doute said she wants the clap.
Whoa.
That's what she's asking for. She says,
Great.
bring me the clap.
So-
I want the
So
clap.
now when you Google me, it's going to say Kristen Doute loves the clap.
Loves the clap. Kristen Doute asks for the clap.
I do.
That's what. That's your next shirt.
That's what I spread. Jesus.
That voice you're hearing right now is the one, the only, the beautiful, the talented, the sweet, the sometimes tumultuous on her reality show Vanderpump Rules. Kristen Doute in the house.
That was a hell of an intro.
Yeah, because we love you. This podcast is all about friendship, and we've become friends.
Yeah, we're buddies.
And so I was happy to have you on.
Thanks so much.
I hate when people say stuff to me like, oh, I don't watch your little show. What is it about? Or, oh, I don't. People feel a real sense of pride about not indulging in things that are great. So they'll be like, I don't even own a TV. It's like, well, that doesn't make you sound special. Like, I don't understand why people do that. That being said, and me prefacing that, I've never seen a single episode of Vanderpump Rules. So my first question for you is, what is Vanderpump Rules? If you were pitching it to someone who's never seen it.
I have people to do this for me. I'm so
That's
bad
not true.
at
I'm
it.
sure people ask you this like for the last, 7 seasons?
Yeah, 7 seasons. It started as a spinoff of The Housewives of Beverly Hills. Lisa Vanderpump was our boss.
So she was on a show called
Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Okay.
This little franchise on Bravo.
It's pretty big, yeah.
It's pretty massive. And
It's heavily criticized, let's be honest.
Our show?
When people want to make fun of wealthy, like affluent people,
Real
like,
Housewives?
you're going to be like a Real Housewives. I've heard it in rap songs. Like people criticize that kind of franchise that you're saying is like a giant
yeah, I mean,
franchise.
people criticize reality TV.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's so trashy. And I'm like, well, I've had a job for 7 years
exactly.
and it's just to entertain you
Yeah.
assholes who watch.
Trying to get paid, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to swear, right?
Sure, yeah,
Okay,
fuck
good.
yeah.
Fuck
You know what's
yeah.
interesting is how many people think that like we're like network TV or something. You can curse on cable nowadays.
Yeah.
Definitely can curse on a podcast.
Just had to ask. Like,
Yeah,
what if I
you're
screwed up
sweet.
like all of this?
No, you're sweet.
Yeah, so the cast that is now in Vanderpump Rules, at least the OG cast, we were all fucking servers and bartenders at
Okay.
one of her restaurants, and she,
Every one of you?
it was 6 of us to start. Myself, my best friends Stassi and Katie, and then the 3 guys we were dating, Jax, Tom, and Tom. I lived with Jax, Tom, and Tom at the time, and I introduced my 2 best friends to those guys. So it was like the 6 of us, 5 of us worked for her, and she was just like dollar signs. Like she's like went right to Bravo, went to NBC, and she was like, "This has to happen." It's
She's
so
like, listen,
salacious.
I've only hired hot people at this restaurant and bar.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we just make a show about these hot people that I hired at this restaurant and bar?
Yeah,
That's what
like, we
happened.
get drunk when we're at work. We fight with our boyfriends. We fight with each other. We lock ourselves in the bathroom crying. This
perfect.
is like in my mid-20s.
It also sounds like every
I don't
server
do that
job I've
anymore.
ever had.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's a big deal. My mom's come out here once since I've lived out here, and she watches the show, and she was like, "We need to go to that.
she
We need to go to
does?
the restaurant." We
Absolutely.
didn't get to do it, but
Shout out to your mom.
shout out to
Holla.
mom.
Well, also, so Terry Bradshaw's daughter, Erin Bradshaw's husband, Scott. It sounds complicated, but
that
it
was a
isn't.
long tree. Yeah.
Well, it's Terry,
Yeah.
his daughter's husband.
There we go. Boom.
His name's Scott. I just want to give their names a shout out.
Sure.
Scott is a great guy. He is as good old boy as they come. He's tough. He's strong. He's handsome. He's tall. He has his own ranch. I mean, he does man work, and he is one of the coolest guys. Anytime I come home for Christmas with Terry, like I'm like, oh, Scott gonna be there because Scott's like a cool. And like you see
a
Scott, you go,
dude.
I want to be friends with Scott. You know? But anyway, Scott's a good man, and Scott loves Vanderpump Rules. You would never guess.
I love Scott.
The first thing Scott did when he came to LA was like, we've got to go to Sir. We got to, like, whatever. And that was the name of the place you guys worked, right?
Yes, where we did work.
It was called Sir?
Called Sir. Yeah, it's on Robertson. Lisa Vanderpump basically like owns Robertson Row now. She has Sir, and then you trickle down the street, right? You know where the Abbey is. So then right next to the Abbey is
He
Pump.
doesn't, but yeah.
And
I do too.
everyone knows where the
Our
Abbey
listeners don't.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the Abbey is like the most famous gay bar in the entire country.
Right.
I feel like
That's how I know it.
anyone would know it. So she owns
Right,
Pump
bro?
next door, 100%. And then a couple doors down, she just opened Tom Tom with my 2 boys that I'm on the show with. So
So you could say that
We're moving
Lisa,
up in the world.
Lisa Vanderpump's pretty wealthy.
she is rich AF.
So she's got thousands of dollars.
She has mini ponies and swans.
Oh my
and,
gosh.
Like, I don't know how many dogs at this point. Like,
My next question is from @JeffDye on Twitter. He wants to know, can he borrow some money?
It's such an uncomfortable
Maybe just
topic.
from Lisa, you know, like it doesn't have to be from you. No, the actual question
I
from
think it should
Twitter
just,
is
like,
not from me.
That guy's a real scoundrel.
gift
That
to you.
at Jeff
No,
Dye.
he's always asking real pesky questions.
what
like,
seriously.
What a jerk.
hey, can we kiss? Hey, can I have money? It seems like he's very selfish.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next question is actually from Quackstar Productions. It was perfect what we were just talking about a second ago. How often does the cast actually work at Sir now?
I
Never.
do not work there at all. I got fired like 3 seasons ago.
Oh, no.
Oh, it was like the best thing that ever happened to me.
Well, it is. Here's a tricky thing. This is interesting because you guys got famous from working at a bar and restaurant and your shenanigans. Now you're TV stars. They can't expect you to still. It's like when they made like Jersey Shore. They were like in the local, I guess the internet, not the news or something, but like the internet would say like these people make $1 million an episode, and then they'd make them work like an ice cream shop, and then be surprised
Yeah.
that they were like not good ice cream shop employees, or like the situation didn't show up for his t-shirt shift on the boardwalk. It's like, listen, he doesn't want to sell t-shirts. He's a millionaire and a celebrity. Like, they can't expect you to still bartend.
Yeah, it's I
It's a
think that's why
conflicting
Lisa
premise.
we're begging for when season 8 comes out, and I'm totally comfortable saying this. Like, we're begging that they choose to break the fourth wall and stop pretending like
We work there.
we can't afford a car, or it's like me, like
Right.
in the eyes of the viewer, up until this season that is airing right now, I haven't had a job in like 4 years. But I've like moved into a brand new apartment and have a brand new BMW,
Yeah,
and
they're
like I
like,
can take
how
care
is
of my
she paying
dogs.
for
And,
that?
yeah, it's like, what do I like? It's just
Right.
fucking magic. Like, do I
Right.
do porn behind the scenes? Like, what's going on?
Those unemployment
That
benefits
was
are
what
shocking
she
right
just
now.
offered up. That was a strange thing to offer up.
It's like, what am I doing that's so hidden?
Right.
So
So you never work at Sir anymore.
I no.
Does anyone that works on that show ever do their Sir job?
Yes, a few people do.
A few.
Yeah.
And how often? Like one shift a week,
They
just
go
to
in
keep
like
up
2 days a week
when
yeah.
cameras are on.
And off.
Oh,
They
really?
have to pop in, but it's so hard. We're caged animals. I mean, we're like zoo monkeys. Like, people just come there to
Well,
take
that's
photos.
a horrible argument. I love zoo monkeys.
Yeah, and so do they.
Yeah.
But they want zoo monkeys autographs and photos, and to
Right.
tell us all about what they think about our lives.
Interesting.
And it's like, well, it's so
Yeah.
frustrating because the more intoxicated people, like fans get, especially at a bar, obviously, the more brave they are. And they're not afraid of like giving their opinions about myself, my relationship, my friendships. Just
That's
like,
the worst part about what you do, in
but
my
I'm
opinion.
not going to be an ass. You know, it's like if without these people, I wouldn't have a job. So I appreciate them. Just like, be nice to my face. Just
Well,
be like
maybe not
everyone else
those
in LA,
people.
you know?
Yeah.
Maybe not the ones that are mean. There's plenty of nice people that watch the show. You don't have to
True.
be, you know.
Yeah. But I'm just, I'm just not an ass. It's really hard.
Right.
I think I've been rude to like one fan ever. Like, I had enough, and I was
How'd
probably
that go?
drunk too. Didn't go well.
Didn't go well.
I had it
yeah.
removed.
Well, you're still feeling guilt about it.
I do. I harbor
Yeah.
a little bit of guilt.
What? Have you ever worked in a restaurant, Tom?
No.
Never?
No. I've done customer service, but not in a restaurant.
Restaurants are, it's its own beast.
Yeah.
Like, as far as I worked at Red Robin, I worked at Rock Bottom Brewery, I worked at Outback Steakhouse for like a weekend. Is there one in Kent?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Or
I
there
worked.
used to be. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be a busboy, and after like a weekend, I was like, I don't want to do this
By the
anymore.
Chuck E. Cheese.
I don't know.
Down like East Hill. Yeah.
It's like on the way to South Center Mall.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're doing some local stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The point
I
is,
like the Chuck E. Cheese reference.
yeah.
though.
Yeah.
oh, I'd love to work there. They wouldn't let me.
No, they wouldn't.
Well, it's so weird being a single 35-year-old man. Like, I love kids. I like being around kids, but like that sounds bad. You can't just say you love kids, you love being around kids. Like, why? I do. It's harmless.
Get out of the ball pit, Jeff. Get
Yeah.
out of
They're always doing the most fun things. They got the best attitudes. My favorite conversations. No, but what I was going to say about the restaurant business is there is a different level of sexual behavior that is allowed in restaurants that would never fly at a regular job. But like, I remember at the restaurant, like, our managers would do things that you would be terminated for at any other position. And not like people aren't having sex at work and stuff, but like there would be
not at your restaurants?
a lot of
'Cause
inappropriate
People have sex at Sir.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Employees?
Yes.
You're kidding.
In the bathroom.
You're kidding.
Not at all.
Who? I want names.
I mean, it's like all on the show. Like,
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then there's this guy that
I should start watching the show.
He bangs customers in the bathroom.
Who does?
This guy on our show that we're not a huge fan of.
You can't bang. Also, the word bang I'm not comfortable with. But
That's what he's doing, though.
He makes love to customers in the bathroom.
I don't know if there's a whole lot of love in there.
No love?
No.
According to the sex therapist, those are the same.
Yeah, that's all.
Shout out to Emily Morris. If you don't get that, watch an older episode.
a good episode.
Our managers, would like say such inappropriate things to like the girl servers, and the girl servers like would like grab my ass. Like it was like the weirdest, and I was like, I guess this is just all allowed here.
But think
and
about
then I'm a jokester, so I'd be like, I guess I can get away with this, and then I would say something inappropriate, or like it was insane.
Yeah, but think about since you have worked at a restaurant, and I've had like literally like thousands and thousands of people reach out to me, to the rest of the cast members about working at restaurants. You don't have a lot of time to meet anyone else. You're working at night.
Okay.
Like, when are you going out? I mean, when I was working 5 days a week at SIR, and I'm there from like 5 o'clock until 11 or 12,
Right.
like these are the people that I'm with, and I'm drunk at work. So like, that's super fun. And it's all hot people. So I'm like guy, girl, like fucking donkey. Like it doesn't matter. Like I'm probably going to bang
What, you throw a
someone
donkey in
at
there?
SIR.
What are you talking
And
about?
so that's what we all did.
Can't
And
just
then we
pepper
just
in
like
the word donkey.
traded off partners. Because we don't like hang out with anyone else.
I agree.
Didn't.
I agree with you, but so I agree with that. But you could say that about any business. You're like, I'm at Apple for 8 hours a day, or I'm at Boeing for 10 hours. It'd be easier just to meet my spouse here. Like I think that happens in comedy. That happens in music. Like Mariah Carey's current boyfriend was like her backup dancer. From shout out to Brian Tanaka. Or like anything. Wrestlers are just with each other. Like. 23 out of the 24 hours a day, so they tend to date each other. So I think that's all businesses.
Fair.
Yeah,
But that's how Vanderpump Rules was made.
that's how it was made. Who's Lisa Vanderpump with?
Like,
Because she was a real housewife.
oh, she's married to the most wonderful man, because she's not my favorite person, but Ken Todd.
You and Lisa don't get along.
We do. No.
Really?
No.
Even now?
No.
She's made you into a TV star.
Yeah. I know she thinks I'm good for the show, but I think that's where our friendship ends.
Interesting.
Wow, drama.
Yeah, hot take.
Yeah.
Does the show know that? Is that part of the show?
Of course.
Okay. See, I don't know what is a hot take and what you could just watch on the show.
Well, and I don't know either, because, there are moments when we're not filming and she's so kind to me and she wants to like talk business or talk
nice.
just whatever. And then either we could be filming or not filming. And suddenly she's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, okay, so I'm not like a 24-year-old server anymore, and you're not my boss. Like,
right.
I'm old as fuck.
Well, you're not, but
like,
so that's interesting though. That
in
so you would
adult
say she
standards.
respects you, but you're not pals.
no, I think she
She doesn't
respects.
respect you.
She
Sometimes.
respects my work on the show.
Yeah.
I think the problem is she doesn't respect me or a lot of us, because we all were at some point 20-something-year-olds that just worked at a restaurant, and now we're cast members together on a show.
Right. Wait, so that's interesting, because I just had this conversation about NBC. Is me and a few people were talking about the executives at NBC, and that's my boss currently, and we were talking about it, and it all came down to it just depends when you catch them. Like certain days you would be like, I did not expect them to be this generous and this like open and this willing to like work with me, and like, wow, I was wrong. Our bosses are the best bosses. And then like a week later something will come up and it's the opposite.
Like, I'm done.
Yeah, exactly.
I quit.
So just what mood you catch the powerful, like
It's so true.
sometimes you have Thanos, like, giving you a break, and sometimes you have Thanos destroying the world, I'm surprised. So what is a job that you had, Tony, that you said you've worked?
Customer service.
Yeah. So I've worked at like an Office Depot.
Oh,
I
God.
worked at a Best Buy.
When you walked in with your application to Office Depot, or walked in to say, were you hiring? Was that rock bottom?
It was bad. Yeah, it was. It was back in Kent too, in the worst part of Kent.
Yeah.
So like people would just steal shit all the time.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, there's a no chase policy. So I'm just like, well, fuck, all right.
Yeah.
Enjoy those ballpoint pens, I guess. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna,
There's a no chase policy.
yeah, like if
They
they
don't want him getting hurt,
They don't want me
and
getting
then
shot.
he sues the...
Yeah. So, and it's right next to the Denny's. That's like the worst Denny's ever. Like cops are there every weekend. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
A hard Denny's.
Yeah, it was a tough Denny's. So there, and then I worked at a Best Buy.
Because when I walk into an Office Depot, no offense, Office Depot, but when I walk in, and I have to buy like chairs or I have to buy, pens or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When I get in there, I go, I just got to get in and out as fast as possible.
That's
I
what
don't want to
every
spend
day.
any time here.
Every day.
Like the lighting is all dingy.
It's
the
the
lighting's
worst.
the worst.
The lighting is
terrible.
that's what they need
Just
to fix.
fluorescent, just nonstop.
How can you possibly like Instagram story yourself that day? You're
Right.
like, ugh, overhead
You can't
lighting.
put fluorescent lighting and carpet. Just make it warehouse floors if you're gonna like just some concrete.
Yeah, it was the worst. And then they because it's like half like office supplies, but they also sell computers and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they have like certain people who do that. But I did both. But like they're like, you need to hit a certain like sales goal. I'm like, I don't fucking care. Like I don't care at all. So
like,
I'm just
this isn't Neiman Marcus.
Sales
I'm
goal.
like, whatever. Same thing at Best Buy.
Like
Like
getting my commission.
but that's the thing, I'm not working commission.
Yeah.
And like at Best Buy especially, you're not working commission, but they're like, yo, you need to get your sales up. I'm like, don't fucking care.
Right.
I'm
They're
not
like,
here to sell shit.
You know, you
Like,
could lose your job. You're like, thank you.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
I'll go find
exactly
a different job.
how I felt it, sir.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Interesting.
It's the worst. So
That just came full circle.
Did
Yeah.
you bartend before you got the job at Sir?
Yeah, I bartended since I was 18. And
Really?
like,
That's allowed?
yeah. I mean, I don't know in which states it's not, but
What
I did
state were you
Michigan, Maryland, Florida,
Ooh.
well, you meant all over.
and then LA.
Tell us about young Kristen Douthe.
Like, I am young. What are you talking
how
about?
dare
I
you.
thought
Tell
we
us-
just said I was young.
Yeah.
You call yourself old as AF or
As
AF.
fuck.
There you go.
Old AF. Old.
AF, you got it. You got it.
Yeah, it was
It's
tricky.
an acronym.
I was
It's
like,
okay.
double A? No, so tell us about growing up. Tell us about the young Kristen. What was she like? Was she all sexy and bartending?
Sassy.
Or
and
were you
bratty.
a weird little girl? A weird
Sassy
kid?
and bratty. I was a
Bratty.
cheerleader. I was a choir dork, hardcore, and then I was like also a burnout. Like I had so many groups of
Many
friends.
identities.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
don't
think
understand.
I'm still right in that same
How
path.
can you be a burnout that's also a cheerleader and this other thing?
You just like don't smoke weed before choir concerts and you don't smoke weed before a game.
Okay.
That's all.
But you had like a cigarette while you're like cheering because you're a burnout.
We weren't that ghetto.
Okay.
But yeah, that was, I mean, I was really sassy and I was a social butterfly and I was really smart, not to toot my own horn, but
Got good
my
grades.
attention span was not wonderful.
Right. That's where the drugs come in.
The drugs.
Yeah.
Pot back then. Ugh,
Yeah.
the
Pot is a drug.
That's what my mom
guys.
calls it, the pot.
Do I need to play Nancy Reagan's YouTube video again for a guest?
Yeah.
Do we not know about the war on drugs? Okay, so were your parents rich?
No.
They were
No,
poor.
my mom, no. Like we were like middle class. I grew up in like a suburb of Detroit. My parents divorced when I was young. My mom raised my sister, brother, and I. I thought my dad was like super cool until I realized that he just wasn't, and that I became an adult. And then I was like, oh, my mom who was a pain in the ass.
Superman is human.
Who my mom was like, go to school. You're grounded. And I'm like, oh, my mom's the worst. And
Right.
I turned 18, 21, whatever. And I'm like, my mom is the tits.
Right.
Like my mom,
And we love tits.
we do. Everyone does.
Yeah, even gay guys love tits.
100%.
Just saying. Or breasts.
so
if you're offended by
I was
that
like, well,
language.
shit. And then I'm like, fell in love and followed this fucking DJ around for
A DJ.
few years.
Oh boy.
And
What's
just
it like
kind
having a
of
DJ as a
traveled.
boyfriend?
There's been too many, so I'll just leave it at that.
Really?
Yeah, really.
What does that mean?
Yeah, it's not my vibe.
Yeah, of course.
No.
I've never looked at DJ and thought they were cool ever.
No.
Even the best ones. Like there's like 6 that I'd be like, oh, that guy's cool because I trust that he's doing what he says he's doing.
Yeah.
The other 95% are just pretending to turn dials and I just look
Their
and go,
headphones aren't even plugged in.
they're lying.
Yeah.
They're all liars.
Yeah.
Not all. Well,
Not
I
all.
shouldn't say all.
Not great
there is
DJs.
I'd say there's a 10% of respect group, and then the rest are just like they have an Apple laptop, and
They
then
hit
that's
space
all
bar.
it is.
Yeah. Hit
And-
space bar. Let it go.
And they're pretending.
Yeah.
I don't like the pretending. I think that's like it's not fair. Like, what if I was just in the NBA because I bought LeBron? It's like, oh, he looks the part.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's not how you get in. But somehow these assholes are doing it.
Yeah, it's true.
When I
It's
dated
an image.
this girl, like, we would go to like the Playboy Mansion pretty often when I first moved here, and there was all these like hot girls that were playmates who would be like, "Oh my god, we're getting into like DJing." And I was like, "How?" And like, "Well, they'll just book us, and then we show up and we DJ." And I was like, "Yeah, but how are you DJing?" We took like a little 45-minute class, and we have like and I was like, "I hate you. I hate it because they just want hot chicks to
Paris
be."
Hilton, I mean, granted, she's doing appearances, but she makes like $1 million every time she DJs a set in Vegas.
That's crazy.
Like, that's her fee.
Man.
Right.
I'm like doing appearances and I'm like, what can we get? I don't want to negotiate against myself. And
Right.
she's like, 1 mil or nothing.
See,
Good for her.
have you ever seen the movie Juice with Tupac and Omar Epps
Yes.
back in the day?
Yeah, I know that movie.
Throwback.
Omar Epps is a DJ, but that's like real DJing.
Right.
They're like scratching
Records and stuff. Yeah. So the guy in that movie was Tupac in that movie.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah. So it's the same. I'm just confirming it's the same movie.
That movie.
At the end, one of the key lines of the movie is this part where he's walking through, and there's all these guys, and then there's like this shorter black guy who says, "You got the juice
You
now,
got the
man."
juice now, yeah.
So the guy who says that line is a guy named Mitch Marchand, who was a writer on I Can Do That, and he writes for Marlon Wayans, and I know him really well. Me and him smoke weed with Snoop Dogg on I Can Do That.
Yeah.
And but I just love telling people that because
got the
they'll be
juice
like,
now.
guys, I'm like,
Great
hey,
story.
guess who? Because he was not like he didn't have like he had that line because
That's it.
I think they were just all extras.
Yeah,
And they're like, can you say a line? He's like, yeah, and so he gets the title line in that movie.
They fight on the roof.
Yeah, that's
And then
so
he
cool. Yeah,
wins.
the second
And
AD
that's
is
why it's-
like,
that's why it's called Juice.
Can you do it? And
You're
he's
going to
like,
get an under 5 line. We're going to Taft Hartley you.
how great is that?
Yeah.
Oh,
really
it's
cool.
like I
You
think
got
it's
the juice
like he
now.
peaked right there. Just like you can't get better than that. And in a Tupac movie, it's great. That's the only part of that movie I've seen because I worked with Mitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's a really good story.
So when I first met you,
Yeah.
I was after a comedy show.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been to Sir. Met you after a comedy show. One of the first things you asked me was what my birthday was because you wanted to know my astrologically.
Me too. She did
My-
that to me
My
5 minutes after she got here.
etymological sign. Now, here's my question to you.
Okay.
When and why and what is this obsession with astrology? If
Okay.
it is an obsession, this is your chance to clear the air.
I mean,
If it isn't.
obsession? Yeah, probably. I'm fascinated by it. There's a reason that it's around. And honestly, when my mom told me, this is going to get like a little weird, but my mom told me when she gave birth to me, I was what is called a stargazer. So
Oh.
that's
Even
one
as
day,
an infant.
one day, like I text my mom and I was like, I've been talking to some friends' moms and they told me that if your child is like born late or born early and it has an effect on like who you are for the rest of your life. So I'm like, what about me? Because I'm always late. Like today I was 10 minutes early to come here and that was crazy.
Yeah.
I was
The
terrified.
stars aligned, you might say.
So what is called a stargazer, whatever. It's a thing. So you can just Google it because I
Okay.
don't want to get all into like childbirth. And I was like, oh my God, this is why I'm obsessed with astrology. I don't know why. Like my mom's really into it. And my sister's into it, but she's not. And I just think it's so fascinating that the time, the place that you were born can have an effect on like your personality trait.
Right.
And it does.
So,
Even if I convince myself that that's the truth, I don't care. I like believing in things.
me too.
I think it's fun
I
to
feel
have
like I'm
faith
a
in
textbook Taurus. I feel like
things. Stubborn as hell.
stubborn, yeah.
Mid-size 4 doors.
Yeah.
So here's the thing with astrology, why I have an internal pushback to it. Because it seems fine. And I don't care about anything. I'm I'm too open-minded. I'm like, yeah, you want guns, have guns. You want to butt fuck your partner, do that. I'm fine with everything. People are like, where would it land, Jeff? I was like, I don't know. I don't care. Like, what if people want to marry sheep, Jeff? I'm like, I love sheep. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have no problems with anything. However,
I don't judge you.
whenever astrology is brought up, I have this kind of like internal pushback because growing up, all they put in our brains, they were always just teaching us, hey, you can't say black people are better at basketball because that's lumping a whole group. Or you can't say, oh, white people are evil because that's lumping a whole group. And you can't say, ooh, this is, such and such. Like, we've been taught to not believe things just because of a reason. Like, oh, we can't say all poor people are lazy, or we can't say all whatever.
Yeah, you can't live in absolutes.
However,
like never and
we're
forever.
fine with just going, oh, he's like this because all the people born in February are like that.
Yeah.
And that's such a bigger basket
It's only
of
half
judgment.
of February.
That's crazy, though.
As an Aquarius, it's only half of February.
That's so many people to put in the same basket.
But it's true.
You think it's true.
100%.
So it's okay to like
Lump people
stereotype
in.
and lump people into
Yes, it
categories
is.
as long as it's been,
Proven by the stars.
but not proven by the stars. I think the stars aren't wrong. That's the hardest part about astrology for me is they go, oh, Jeff,
Who made it up?
You're going to deny the stars? No, I'm denying the humans that are translating those stars.
I wonder who actually was like I don't even know
That's
the
what I'm
answer to
saying.
this. Like the very first person to be like, I'm going to write a book and I'm going to tell you from the time you were born, the day you were born, who you are.
Right.
I believe them and they're right.
Yeah.
They're right. Me as a child, not me like as an adult who wants to believe in something. Like as a child, my mom's like, oh, you're a fucking Aquarius.
Well, let's do a little exercise. Yeah. So I'm in the verbal manipulation game. I'm a stand-up comedian. Love words. I like doing that. So what I believe astrology does is they say, what's your birthday?
February 17th.
I know all about you.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, I imagine that you are you're a very spontaneous, outgoing, very loving. Sometimes you love a little too much. You love a little too hard. And I would say that sometimes you can maybe put your foot in your mouth, but because your passion, you feel at that moment it is appropriate. Later you might regret it, sure, but do you see what I'm doing? It's traits nobody would deny about themselves. In fact, you feel kind of good, or you're like, if people cross you, you can be really, really a bitch. But it's just out of loyalty. Nobody messes with your friends. Nobody messes with your family. Do you see what I'm saying?
So funny.
So it's those things where you go, yeah, that is true. Because I love my friends so much.
Yeah.
I love my friends so much that I wouldn't put up with that. And so these are the things that even when they're like being like kind of hard on you, it's suggesting this
but
great
how does
trait.
it make me feel when you're telling me that? Like I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel good. And that is all that matters.
Sell snake oil.
I do things and believe things that make me feel better about myself.
Right.
Like that's the bottom line. So if it's astrology, like sweet. It's not religion. Like
Absolutely.
I mean,
I feel like they're taking it real far though. My friend has a sexology book. And it like breaks down like, oh, if like Tauruses like this stuff and don't like this. I'm like, no.
That's so funny.
Nope. Don't like being a cuckold. I don't know where you got that, writer. Like, no thanks. Like,
What if I made that book and it's like,
Tony, I need to read that. I like
it's a thing. It's a huge book.
what if I made that book and it was like, here's what all the astrological signs like sexually. And it just, if you're born in January, you like blowjobs and you love sex and you love
That's
when
exactly
a guy
what
goes
this
down
is.
on you.
That's exactly what this is.
Guess what the next month is? They love blowjobs, sex, and when the guy goes down on you.
Yeah.
which
it's
would
all the
do you know
every
that
one of
would
them.
totally work though? Because people like me who read astrology books don't give a shit about January or March or
Yeah,
any
you just
other
go to
month
yours.
unless it's the person
That's
that I'm dating and the
fascinating.
person
Yeah.
that I
But
am.
you know them all because you ask everyone their birthday and stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
I like to understand people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing. Maddie Chimber, big shout out to Maddie Chimber, has this really funny joke. You won't agree with it, but it is funny because that's how comedy works. It doesn't have to be true to be funny. He says, "You guys know what astrology is?" The crowd's like, "Whatever," and he's like, "I might be butchering the joke. This is how I remember it." He goes, "You guys know what astrology is?" The crowd's like, "Whatever," and he goes, "It's when hot chicks blame all their problems on the stars."
It's so true. 100%. That's why when Mercury's in retrograde.
Yeah.
Come
Fucking
on.
Mercury. God.
What does that mean?
Like when anybody has any problems, like, oh, Mercury's in retrograde.
Yeah.
That's why the
Communication problems,
universe
traffic.
is just.
What is the
Yes.
blood moon? Does that mean people are going to have their moon cycle? They're going to be all bloody on the... What does it mean?
I mean, no. It's like, well, is that what it means?
I don't know.
I have no
I
idea.
was on my period last week. Fuck.
There you go. Maybe that's what happened.
That's so complicated. You know what? I'm
You don't know
not,
what the blood moon is?
I'm not well, I know what it is, but I'm saying I'm not seasoned enough to like tell you what that does to our stars. My tarot card reader was telling me how the blood moon.
Hot take. You have a tarot card reader.
Yes, and she was telling me how the blood moon, the eclipse would like affect my weekend when it happened that weekend, and I'm not sure if I
Don't you think that's a
came
little bit
to a
of
conclusion.
Don't you think it's a little bit of manifest destiny though?
Yeah, but that's great, man. She's saying that she's fine with manifest destiny.
Totally.
So if someone's like, "Hey, you know something shitty's really gonna happen to you this weekend," don't you feel like you're making that happen a little bit?
Yeah,
Or like looking for it or something?
Yeah, I was more aware.
Yeah.
But I wasn't trying to be like, that's it. But I was just
Sure.
trying to be more aware of my surroundings and like the people I was with because I was traveling and.
Not to sound like a hippie, I don't like to talk about my belief systems on here
I
much,
love
but
hippies.
as a Taoist, like I'm very disconnected to labels. I don't like labels, and not like in broad labels, but even anything. I don't like it when someone's like, well, you know, technically it's called water. It's like, no, it's lots of things. It's agua, it's H2O. This has nothing to do with what we've labeled it, is how I feel about things. So the term
it could be called anything.
placebo.
It could just be called blue. Like
Yeah, it's just a point of communication. Yeah, it's like liquid air, you know?
Yeah.
So the term placebo is just a scientific term that we've learned as like, oh, it's when your body thinks it's good. But here's the thing. If your body is able to convince itself of something because of your mind's power, that's way more beautiful and fascinating than just writing it off as like a placebo effect. That means we can convince our body that we're like able to heal something without even having like that's a placebo effect is an incredible miracle in my opinion.
No,
So if like Wayne Dyer's got a great quote where he's like, if I have hemorrhoids and someone convinces me that crystals can, I'm buying crystal chairs. Yeah, I'm buying them. I'm buying those because guess what? It works. If it works, it works.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if our minds are that powerful. And you're saying like, I don't care if it is manifest destination or whatever you called it, like, because it's working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to wear crystals in my bra.
Oh yeah. Can we see? Do you have any crystals in your bra
I didn't
now?
bring any today. You know, it was back then.
Guys, just listen to this episode.
But I
Sorry,
swear to
Patreon.
God, it worked. Like it worked. Like I was on a major crystal kick for a while. I still have all of them. I don't charge them. I don't even know what they are. But
I
at
thought
the
you
time,
did charge them.
I charged them recently.
Yeah.
But I don't even know really which one is which. Like I have a giant bowl of crystals that I bought for a purpose at each time. And then I'm just like, well, don't need these anymore. Stick them in the bowl or stick them in a bag. But I'm like, but I don't want to get rid of them
So now
because
it's
they
just a
all meant
potpourri.
something to me at some certain time.
Yeah.
I like to believe
does
in
this
crystals.
ever happen to you? It happens to me at hotels all the time with my cell phone and stuff. But do you ever go to like hotels and then you leave and then you get home and you realize you left your crystal charger? Has that ever happened to you?
Wait, what?
Have you ever left your crystal charger like in the car, like
The
rental car or
moon?
something? Yeah.
The moon?
Oh, you charge it with the moon?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Oh, I thought you meant like an actual crystal. I was like,
I thought
is
you
that
had
a
one.
thing?
I don't know. How do you charge
No.
these crystals?
You put them under the moon and
that's
the moon
it?
charges them.
That's easy.
You got shut up.
How
Now
could
I'm
you
like,
not-
I am a fucking hippie weirdo, but I like it.
Yeah. I thought that was an actual charger. All right, so here's a
You put-
question.
yeah, you
It's
plug them
on
into the
Yeah, I
wall.
didn't know. I didn't know how it worked.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime.
Here's the thing. Tarot cards. You have a tarot card reader.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What if they read your cards, right? And they say, "Oh God, this week's gonna be good," and "Oh, so you've got a lot of love coming up," and "Oh my gosh, you might be pregnant." So all the cards are just coming up like that, right? And then you leave, and then you put on like a disguise, you know, like same person, but you just put on glasses or something, maybe a big wig, and you're like, "Hello, it's me, a different person."
Mm-hmm.
And then you get tarot cards, and they're gonna shuffle it. I'm sure they shuffle the deck, and then they read it. The odds are gonna be different because statistically, the cards will be.
See, but it's not statistically. This is why I think you should totally do a tarot card reading.
Well,
Because
explain it to us.
with tarot cards, each card means two things. That's it. There's a negative and a positive, or if you will, I guess. I don't know if that's the correct way to word it. But with tarot cards, there's like this way or this way. This is what this card means. And it's all up to the tarot card reader, whatever she is feeling. That's why they're like
boy, you
mediums
gotta get
or
a good one.
psychics or yeah. But like I've tried doing a card reading for one of my friends one time. I was like, well, I can do this. I have the book. I pull the card up and I read it's either this one or this one. And I'm like, I have no fucking
And then
clue.
a demon entered your friend's
Yeah,
body.
I have no idea. And you look at the cards when you're getting read, and there's like this like one has like 10 swords in him, and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? The devil's
Right.
upside
Oh,
down. I'm
God.
like, what does that mean?
You're gonna have a
Oh
lot
my
of
gosh.
pains.
But it's about the story that she's painting for you, and it's very specific with dates and months and
I love that.
like.
And you got a good one.
And I got a great career one.
Good.
So we'll see what happens.
Do you feel like
come
sometimes
April
she's like
and
looking at
August.
your Instagram and she's like, you recently were at a bar
Yeah.
with your boyfriend, and you're like, how does she know this?
I'm like,
That's the hard part about being a celebrity.
Yeah.
So like, oh, I foresee, and you're like, this
That's
is
how I felt when I did Tyler Henry. I was really nervous. Do you
You
know
did
who Tyler
that
Henry
guy?
is? Yeah.
God, he annoys me.
My best friend Stassi and I did it, and I loved that show. And I went into
What's
it
his
being
name?
like Tyler Henry,
Is he a medium?
Hollywood medium.
Yeah, he
he's
annoys
on
me
E!
so much.
But I really wanted to do it. But
He's
then
like, you
going,
lost someone. She's like, I lost Brittany Murphy.
yeah, like going
And it's
into
like,
it, I was
yeah, like,
freaking out. I'm like,
of course he knows Brittany Murphy died. And of course he knows she knew it because like they worked on a movie a long time ago together.
yeah, stuff like
I
that.
watched that episode. I was just like, delete.
Or
This
like when they're
guy's
on,
a
like,
fraud.
or when guys.
But it wasn't. That was
Tyler-
the crazy part. When I did
What's his
it,
name?
I went Tyler Henry. I went into it really skeptical.
We're gonna get him on this podcast. He's
Because
gonna
I'm like,
read Tone,
I'm like,
not
they're-
a celebrity.
Yeah, I'm like, they're
See if
producers.
he's got what it takes.
No,
Tyler.
seriously.
Calling you out, boy. Whoa.
That is, I really want you to do it because we went into it like this is going to be whatever is on the internet, like as deep as you can dig. I've talked about like my grandfather's passing like on Instagram or Twitter before, so I'm like, if he's going to pinpoint these certain things, I know I've
Yeah,
spoken
he's got
about. Like, he's full of
producers
shit.
who search all
Of
that.
course. But their whole crew truly is like the most emotional crew I've ever worked with because they typically they're
They
one
also
producer.
believe he's a witch.
They do like don't knock witches, bruh.
I'm not.
But they do whatever.
There's
So
good
they
witches
do a
and
lot
bad
of like
witches.
really
Don't think they're all good.
like deep documentaries and shit. But when I was trying to be open minded and yeah, there were some things like I gave him like a piece of jewelry and he was like, "This is a gift," and I was like, "It sure is."
Surprising. I
I'm
didn't
crying.
buy my own jewelry.
But then there were other things that he said that were, I'm just like, there's no way. There is absolutely nothing.
What were some of the things he
Ever
said?
out
Because I'm
there.
sure that's on TV.
No, when he was saying that my grandpa was coming through, he said John, which is we actually call my grandpa Jack, but his real name is John. And a second John was coming, or second John was like not a passed away one, like a deceased one, but another guy named John. And that my grandpa was giving this other John a thumbs up, but it was like, is he in like agriculture or something like that? And I'm like, my fucking grandparents have owned a garden center since like the 70s. And my grandpa
And there's
just
no
passed.
public record of that.
Fair, but how do they dig that deep
Sure.
that they're just gonna look up that
Yeah,
and
if
know
you're
who's gonna
trying to
take
convince
over?
someone you're magic, you better do your homework.
You know what? I just,
It's like Jesus.
just think my grandpa
Everyone
was
was
there.
like, yeah, right, Jesus. He can't do all that. What he did was he had wine in his cloak, and then when he poured it, he made it look like the wine was water, and then he turned it into wine. But really, and then Jesus is like, screw all you, watch this. And he walks on the ocean, and they're like, oh, yeah, he might be legit.
Yeah,
You know?
but again, it goes.
He had to prove it
circles
big.
right
Frozen
back
legs.
He had to prove it big.
I
Yeah.
just want to believe in.
Yeah, you're a good
Yeah.
person. I think you're a great person.
I'm on reality TV, so it's like really fun to have beliefs and
Yeah.
fun things that make me feel
I
happy.
think you're a
because my
great
job
person.
always doesn't.
I think you're a great person.
I think you're a great person.
And I think Tyler Henry is a fraud. And so I'd like him to come on here
You
and
need
show
help,
us
yeah.
his little look, you lost
You
a
have to
sister.
make that happen.
Yeah, I did lose a sister.
the
I
two
put it
of
on Instagram the day it happened, you little twat.
Yeah.
It's easy to be a
Wow.
It's
I love the
easy.
word twat. It was a good one.
So
I
aggressive.
don't like people capitalizing
Yeah.
on those type of things.
Yeah.
When I do comedy, they like me or they hate me, but I didn't manipulate them. I didn't try to
Yeah.
go. You know, I feel very sensitive to when people are gonna try to prey on the dead or prey on those kind of things. Is very unfair. That's what
Yeah.
old priests used to do and stuff. And like,
Yeah.
all
You
like,
need to do a reading, the two of you together
Yeah.
with him and see
see what happens. He'll be like, "Well, Jeff, I know a lot about you. Tony, you're not." You know what I'm saying? It's
yeah,
like,
it's
oh,
like
it seems
who's,
like you
who's
don't.
coming through.
Yeah.
You should test it out.
But sorry, I said a mean thing about witches.
It's okay.
Which leads us to your wine. You have a wine now.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm actually drinking it right now. It's very, I don't know if smooth is the right word, but it doesn't have the
easy.
the thing that you get when you drink wine normally.
Yeah,
Or
it's
me, 'cause
easy.
I don't drink a lot of wine.
It's dry. It's crisp. It's
Can
easy.
I have some of that for my home so when people come over, I can pitch it to them?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all about branding.
Yeah, I'll help you.
It's I'm like, wear my
an
shirt.
influencer.
I'm bringing my wine.
I'm doing it right now. No, so the
Brand.
wine is called Witches of WeHo.
Yeah.
And Carla Vasquez Pina on Twitter, she wanted to know, how did this name come about? Like, why is it called Witches of WeHo? I know WeHo is short for West Hollywood.
It is short. Yeah, and I feel like that's something we have to maybe explain to a lot of people, but it's
like when you said the Abbey, like everyone knows the Abbey. I was like, I can tell you 99% of our listeners do not know what the Abbey is. Because nobody listens to this in LA. We don't have any LA listeners.
I do.
You do?
I sure do.
You've listened to one episode, Kristen.
I've listened to 3.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
What, you listened to the sex therapy one? I know you listened to that.
And then the other girl, forgot her name.
Anna Camp?
I listened to that one. And Grace
Helbig, yeah, which is a lot of wrestling talk. We gotta get Grace back on so she can talk about.
I listened to Emily first, and then I was like, I really like listening to a chick with dudes. You know.
Well, that's sexist, but sure. What if
sexist.
I was like, on Joe Rogan, I only listen to the dude episodes because I'm a dude and I only want to hear dudes. That'd be sexist.
That's pretty much how I feel. I just think it's really interesting. Sexist.
Fair enough. What a witch.
Fair enough.
No, so why is it called Witches of WeHo?
Witches of WeHo is a name that my friend Katie's husband, Tom Schwartz, came up with for Katie, Stassi, and I.
A guy named you guys the Witches of WeHo?
He also named us the Vagina Mafia, which is another shirt I have.
I actually like that.
Yeah. It's
Wait, I'd wear that shirt.
Vagina Mafia?
Yeah, it's funny.
I will send it to you.
Thank you.
It looks like Miami Vice-ish.
Oh, I love Miami Vice too. And is it the pink and the teal?
Pink and blue.
Yeah, that's a good colors. The Miami Heat have been rocking those jerseys, and they look fire.
Fantastic.
That's basketball, right?
Yeah, but I wish that I liked the Heat just so I could wear that gear because we're very Homer, like a lot of Seattle stuff generally.
Because Seattle has the best. Well, the Seahawks have the best colors in the entire NFL.
Absolutely. I only have 2 hats that aren't Seattle, and this one because I'm a recruited Lakers fan by Jeannie Buss, and then the Sonics aren't here yet. Yeah. They're not back yet, so I feel a little. I apologize to the listeners.
You're okay. I have a Lakers
Tony's
jersey.
like,
I
okay,
think it's fair for now.
Yeah.
I might get a little criticism when the Sonics come back, but I know myself pretty good. I think when the Seahawks come back, or when the Sonics come back, I'm probably never going to wear this. It'll be like such a homer.
Who knows? That's if that even happens.
It'll happen eventually, even if it's like 30 years from now. So here's the thing, Tom.
So Tom Schwartz, basically just Katie, Stassi, and I sitting around gossiping and being assholes per usual and drinking, and he was like, "Oh, you guys are like the witches of WeHo." Boom.
Wow.
Stuck. I made a t-shirt about it.
Because the branding is very beautiful. I think what you've done with the bottle is cool.
Oh,
like it looks like a cool sticker.
That is all Katie, Stas, and I. We got this brand came to us, Knocking Point Wines, and said, we work with different, I guess, like celebrities or whatever you want to call it, and we collaborate. They do a lot of stuff with like actors that do movies that are in Comic-Con. Like because that brand is so easy to sell, right? No one really cares about the actor per se, no offense, but it's like that character, that movie, Marvel, whatever. Yeah. So they came to us and we're like, dude, we sell shit. Like that's what we do.
Right, yeah, you guys are good at that.
I mean, like we love branding ourselves because that's what we do in reality.
Does Lisa Vanderpump have this wine at her bar, sir?
Lisa does not, but she... Why not? Is allowed. Well, it's not out yet. Well, it will be by the time this airs. But she is allowing us to have our launch party at Tom Tom. It was so exciting.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm like, she's going to tell us no, and we don't have anywhere because we're not selling it in restaurants. It's a wine club thing.
Why aren't you in the restaurants? Because you want more money?
No, we launched. Well, okay, fuck. This airs later, but February 1st is the launch, and you sign up with Knocking Point Wine Club for like a month.
People aren't going to be that baffled that we pre-record.
Okay, So you sign up for this wine club, and then they send you our wine in a red.
Cool.
And so then you're the first to ever get it. And then when you're in the wine club, when you can then buy it a la carte, you're the first ones that are allowed to do it. Basically.
That's great.
And so then from there, we'll fingers crossed, weasel our way into all of Lisa's restaurants.
I have one of the best wine reps in California.
You do?
I do. A guy named Josh Nelson. He's been on this podcast. He's one of my favorite people in the world. On the podcast, I feel like people were like, this guy hates everything because he started real aggressive.
Yeah.
He started by being like, I hate Star Wars. I hate Harry Potter. He's just talking about all the
I
things
hate
that like.
both of those things too. So
Well, we're
think
like
Josh
a
and I
very
would be friends.
nerd-friendly podcast. Look at the
I know.
room I'm sitting in. This is in my house. Like I love toys. I love like video games. I love everything.
It's fun.
So when Josh started doing that, people were like, hey, this guy, what is making? Nobody hates Star Wars. It's very good. But anyways, he's one of the best wine reps like in California. He's like a legit guy. But that'd be the easiest sell in the world for him. But is that not going to be allowed? Because you have to be in the wine
At some point it will
club.
be. This is why we started with potion number 1 because
Okay.
we're very ambitious.
Oh.
So
I like that you chose booze to thing.
and three-
I like that you chose
yeah.
booze.
yes,
You're like,
it's
listen,
so
we're always
good.
drinking on the show. We started as bartenders. It's a very smart match.
In the
Here's-
back of the bottle,
Here's a concern I
it's
have.
like a Stassi quote, which you don't watch the show, so you don't know.
Right,
but
I
this
mean who
is like-
Stassi is, but
this-
she sounds like a great
this
gal.
is that's my best friend.
Okay.
And it's like paying homage to like our fans basically
Amish.
for loving for loving the show so much, and so we're
Right.
kind of tagging onto them, and so it's like a quote on the back. It says, I'm not really sure what I've done to you, but I'll take a Pinot Grigio.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
a very epic, memorable scene from season 2 of Vanderpump Rules that will never go away. And the ingredients are the tears of your exes.
Oh.
That part seems a little
A
aggressive.
little dark. Little dark, but we're witches. But no, we're really proud of it. The girls and I, we had our first meeting. We went to a bar
Can I see
in
the
West
bottle?
Hollywood right after and created the label in an hour and a half.
Here's my concern.
Wow.
This is a really interesting wine saving technique. Look at how much wine we're not getting in here. Does that seems I'm affected by this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why isn't that part flat, like this bottle? And then see how much wine you're saving down there? Do you see how that doesn't go up 1.5 inches into my wine product?
But it's so pretty.
It is very beautiful. I think this is a great look. I like the label. I like the idea. I like the quote. I like the branding. It matches you guys. You guys drink a lot. It's the
We're
whole
really,
thing.
really proud.
The whole thing's a home run.
yeah,
if
we're
you
really
ask me.
proud. Thanks. Thanks, Boo.
You also, of course, you make shirts. I'm wearing one of them right now. It's a very soft shirt. It says Vegaholic. I liked this one the best. I feel like this is a shirt if I wore outside of California, people would tease me.
Yeah, you can wear it in Seattle.
Yeah.
Wait, tell me why.
Well, because nationwide people are pretty aggressive. Like, oh God, what do you don't eat meat? Oh, I'm sorry that I love pigs. I'm sorry that when I see a pig, I don't think, yeah, let's murder him, cut his head off, break open his rib cage, take out his guts, cut off of his flesh, and then put that on fire. It seems pretty aggressive to me.
I concur.
I'll eat some fake meat, soy,
Cool.
plants. But other people don't feel that way. Other people think you're a pussy if you don't eat meat.
They do.
But you have a ton of shirts that say a lot of things.
They do say a lot of things.
One of them I wore yesterday said Daydreamer Achiever. I like
Daydream
that
Achiever,
as
yeah.
well.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, what are these shirts? Tell us about the idea.
I'm blushing. I'm
Tell
so
me
happy.
what they
It's my
mean.
baby. So
some of them I don't get.
I'm dying to know which ones. I mean, I started James May like 4 years ago and completely bombed.
So it's
And
a shirt company called James
James
May.
May.
Why
which
did you
is,
call it that?
It's my nephew and niece. It's named
Oh,
after them.
cute.
Yeah, Logan James.
Do
and
they
Savannah
like
May.
it?
They love it.
Yeah, they wear the stuff.
Yeah.
I like that.
My family loves it. Everyone loves it. But I started it 4 years ago and I just fucking bombed. Like I had no idea what I was doing. I thought I could do it all on my own with like a bunk Photoshop like program, and then just like had this company in Chicago that was like charging me like up the ass for everything, like literally no clue, no marketing whatsoever. So I took a break and partnered up with a friend of mine who's been in the fashion world for many years. And I'm like, let's just do this shit the right way. Like I wear t-shirts every single day.
Really?
I want to
Not today.
not today, but like I dress them up, dress them down. I just think it's such an easy wear, and who the hell doesn't wear a fucking t-shirt? Like everyone does. So we did 3 collections. We started it with the James May collection, which is like classic rock 70s inspired. So we get away with as much as we can, lyric and band wise.
Yeah. One of them is "Don't Give a Damn About My Reputation," which is a very famous song. No rights problems there.
No.
It's Ronda Rousey's entrance music also in WWE. Did you know that?
That one, I actually did know that.
You did know that.
I did know that.
So there's that one. Obviously, Vegaholic is very obvious. That's why I went to my phone. Daydream Achiever. I think Daydreamer Achiever.
No,
It's got a better
Beatles
sound
song,
to it.
Daydream Believer.
I know,
But I
but
changed it.
Daydreamer Achiever
Yeah.
would be the rhymes.
Fair.
But it's Daydream. It's beautiful.
Thanks.
There's one that you sent me that I don't know what it means.
Which one?
So I'm
I'm just visiting.
Yeah, what's that one?
David Bowie.
Oh, so you're just taking lyrics.
Ideas and part just for the James May collection. Yeah. We
like
did like
that.
a tour tee. We have like our logo tee, which is like the LA skyline that I drew. It was fine. And then like oh my oh hell yes, we can get away with that. But you gotta be real careful with Tom Petty shit because everybody
Love
knows he
Tom
sues.
Petty. Yeah.
Well his team.
Yeah, he's
Rest in
gone
peace.
now. Rest in
His
peace.
estate, yeah.
Yeah. Rest in paradise. But yeah. So that's that. And then we have the Vegaholic collection because of my
Which
blog.
lyric is Vegaholic from?
No,
What
that's
song is that from?
That's my blog. My vegetarian blog.
Oh, there's no.
So then we do like the food, the drink, the funny shit, whatever.
Do you eat fishes?
No.
You don't eat fishes?
No. I've been vegetarian since I was 11.
I'm a pescatarian. I eat fishes.
So you're a fake vegetarian.
Well, no, it's just that I don't feel guilt when I eat a fish. You know, biblically, you can't find a part where Jesus ate any kind of meat. However, he would eat fish all the time.
I honestly, I don't hate really anything, but I hate fish dead or alive. So I'm fine with
Right.
that.
Patrice O'Neal's got a great.
I really don't like
Patrice
that.
O'Neal's
They're
got a
annoying.
great bit where he's like, if we had to kill our own meat, he's like, have you ever seen a cow? Like, if you had to kill a cow, you'd be like, you know how dead you are, cow? I'm a fucking, you know, dead. He's like, but you couldn't do it. You wouldn't be able to pull the trigger. That's a whole cow.
No.
Yeah.
He's like, however, a fish, I'll kill a fish, man. Because fish ain't got no eyelids. They're just like, they're just looking at you like that. Like, I'll fucking kill a fish. And I feel like even though that's a very comedic bit, I feel the same. I feel the same in the fashion. Like, I could never kill an animal. However, I fish. And I feel zero guilt. Like, I don't feel a connection.
More than enough of them out there.
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
Ocean's
you wouldn't
very
like
vast.
a
I
feel like
dolphin,
that's why
like a
they're here.
shark,
Yeah.
a dolphin, a whale. Like
No, I wouldn't kill those.
Yeah.
Never.
because they're like animals.
A dolphin is smarter
I
than
mean, a
people.
shark is technically a fish, but
If
I
you're
would still
fine
feel
with killing
bad.
a dolphin, you should be fine with killing children. Like, they're smarter
Yeah.
than children.
They're smarter than
think they're too
most
smart.
of us.
I love them.
Touche.
I don't like the old stereotype too. Let's get this out there. I don't like when people are like, you know, I've heard girls say this because they saw one thing and then they think it's so funny to talk about. Dolphins are rapists.
Ugh.
Oh.
It's like, no, they're not.
Yeah.
They're like, have you ever like had a dog in your life? Dogs will come like smell your crotch, or they get like, because they're like they don't have shame, and they also don't know that they're doing anything wrong because they're not.
Yeah.
Well, dolphins are the exact same way.
It's
A
just
dolphin
nature.
can tell when a woman's pregnant before she knows.
Really?
Yeah, and so they will circle a woman if she's pregnant and or like menstruating, and what they're doing is they're protecting her. Like, it's this fascinating. Like, they're really, really sweet creatures.
They really are. They
I
are
love
like
you,
puppies.
dolphins.
No,
That's my love message to
you're
dolphins.
so right.
I love you, dolphins.
Yeah, my dog's like that. I mean, he humps his baby. He has his baby.
Oh my
it's bigger than
gosh.
him. It's like his big lamb chop. Like
Yeah.
he's a 10-pound Yorkie. His lamb chop is like that extra massive one. I don't know if y'all know. Like there are 3 sizes of lamb chops as dog toys. No,
No,
mini one, middle sized one, roughly a foot long, and then like the big ass one that is way bigger than my dog.
oh my
And
gosh,
he's had it since he was born.
inappropriate.
And he
Hey, you gotta show
drags that thing
dominance, you know?
around and he puts it in the teepee and he kisses her and he
Oh,
makes love to her from
Wines and
behind.
dines.
oh my gosh, from behind.
Yeah.
What
so
a
he's
guy.
kind of like dolphin rapey, but
Do
I
you
understand
ever
it now.
do you ever film that?
Yes, all the time.
It's very funny.
It is on
Yeah,
Vanderpump
watching
Rules.
dogs
It is
hump
on my
stuff is fun.
Instagram stories all the time.
One time I poured a little PBR, just like a little bit of PBR into my dog's bowl, and he started humping my leg so hard. He's never done that before. He never did it since. I was laughing so hard. Like, everyone in my house like thought it was hilarious, and I was like crying. I was laughing so hard, and it felt weird. It's my own dog. He's like humping my leg. And then a lot of people on the internet were mad at me because I gave a dog
He's
PBR.
so happy though.
But you're not supposed to give a dog PBR, I guess. Like,
Oh, if
dogs
it's a
can't.
little bit,
it was
they'll
a
be
very
fine.
small bit. Also, I
He's
love
fine.
that dog, and he's mine. But it made me laugh a lot. Very humpy. Very humpy.
Yeah.
So, but where can people buy these shirts? Where can people buy the Witches of WeHo? How do we make you some more money?
Make me some money. JamesMay.co. It's James and then MAE.co.
So they can go to jamesmay.co. They can buy these shirts.
Yes.
How do they get the Witches of WeHo wine? Because it is good. And I'm not just saying that because I like it, but it's tasty. And I'm not a wine guy, but it's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's like it wasn't, I didn't feel like a kickback of like, ugh. I normally feel that when I drink wine.
Yeah, you weren't drinking the right wine then.
I've tried a lot.
But you liked this one.
It was good. It was smooth. It didn't make me feel weird.
That's good. Knockingpointwines.com.
What is it?
Or Knocking Point?
Like KNOCKING.
NOCKING.
Like knocking boots.
.com. Yeah. And Witches of WeHo on Instagram.
Okay.
Rock and roll.
Perfect. Wait, so it has its own Instagram page?
Sure does.
Oh my gosh. How are you going to do that?
I am doing the best I can right now.
A ton of images of wine.
I run ours and James May and my own. So I'm
Can't you just post that on yours a bunch?
Yeah,
wouldn't that be smarter?
It needs to stand on its own.
I wouldn't follow a wine.
I don't think you follow me.
Really?
Do you follow me?
I'm pretty sure I do.
Oh.
Probably just don't notice because you have how many or how many followers?
I don't know. A few.
Like more than 100.
100. Yeah, I have more than 100.
Way more than 100.
Yes. Fair.
Tone, what's new, baby? What's shaking? What can you promote? Screen peeks?
Yeah, everything's the same. Just Twitter and Instagram. I am Tony Reavis.
We're making a little road trip on
Tomorrow.
Where are y'all going?
San Francisco.
Me and Tony are going up to San Francisco. And if you subscribe to the Patreon, there's going to be a very fun video of our little trip up to San Fran. People are going to love that. We're going to see the baseball stadium. What is it? Bank.
It was AT&T Park, but it just changed to Oracle Park.
Oracle. Anyways, it's a great park. Well, we're going to go take a tour of that. We're going to shoot some stuff with Greg Miller.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. People
I
can
love
see
San
that
Francisco.
on Patreon.
I've never been. I'm excited.
My favorite city in the United States.
Oh, wow.
San Francisco is?
Yeah.
Really?
100%.
Why would you say that?
I fell in love with it. I did a movie there like years and years ago, and I had to like live in Noe Valley for like 3 weeks, like live in a house that it was like my characters, like basically our Airbnb. And we shot, I mean, the city's so small. It's 49 miles, like 7 by 7.
Okay.
So you get to see everything.
You must hate having a car.
What?
Having a car in San Francisco is the worst.
I cannot imagine people would really drive.
Dude, one time we went to, we was like, I'm going to make up times, but we were like, let's meet at the bar at 7. We got there at like 6:45. We didn't find parking until like 8.
Yeah, no.
We just kept
Public transportation.
And we were even like, I guess we should just park super far away wherever we find something and then like Uber to where we're going because it took us forever. But San Francisco, we're going to go up there.
Yeah.
My favorite city in the
really
world.
excited for you, Tony.
Chicago's my favorite city in the world.
Chicago was my favorite city until I moved to California because San Francisco is the Chicago of the West.
Chicago in the summer is my favorite. And you meet a lot of people from Michigan there because that's like the quickest
It's our Vegas.
big city.
Vegas, Vegas in the Midwest.
Wait, what day does this come out?
February 6th.
February 6th.
Let's see where I'm going to be. Oh, so this weekend I will be in Washington, D.C. Come see me. I think it's called Breyer Bar, something like that. The Comedy Loft. Come see me there. I'm going to be with Andy Ostroff. We'll be having, I think, 4 or 5 shows. Tickets are going quick. But yeah, love you guys. Thanks for listening.
Friendship.
How about that? Big thank you to KRISTEN Doute for being on the podcast. She might be my favorite human. Big thank you to Tony Reavis. You know, he's losing weight, and I think he's going to be like Jonah Hill, where Jonah Hill was like, I'm going to live better, I want to feel healthier, I want to lose some weight. And then everyone was mean, like, we liked him when he was fat. Well, guess what? He's trying to better himself. So, Tony, keep up the good work. I love you. Tony the Bull is a good man, but if he gets too thin, I expect you people to shame him for it. Okay? Also, when I say you people, I mean listeners. That wasn't a racial thing. Love you guys. Join us next week for episode 45. We love having you. Thank you.